Welcome to another episode of Who Made That Song podcast. This podcast aims to shine the spotlight on the people behind the creation of a song, the people who make a song. I'm your host, David Rotimi, and I hope you enjoy listening to this as much as I enjoyed creating it. All right, so episode 2 of the Who Made That Song podcast, and today's episode is a very special one because we have in our presence the lawyer you should have. Because not only does he know his crafts, he can also fight if he needs to get to that. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Akinyemi Ayinoluwa
Brother.
in my makeshift studio. Welcome.
Well,
welcome.
nice setup you've got, man.
Thank
we
you
have
very
to
much.
start somewhere, and
Thank you
it
very
can only
much.
get better from here.
Most definitely.
Thanks for having me on your podcast, and I believe that you're onto something great as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let me quickly read your profile because I think it's very important. So Akinyemi Ayinoluwa is a partner and co-founder at Hightower Solicitors and Advocates. His music law practice focuses on the representation of recording artists, songwriters, record producers, record labels, investors in music, and talent managers. He is often recommended as a lawyer who breathes, drinks, and eats music. That's deep. Akinyemi's past legal experience includes associate at Wemimo Ogunde and Co. and Awokoya and Co. Prior to qualifying as a lawyer, he was a songwriter, recording artist, composer, and performer. He was the lead singer of the defunct 100 Degrees boy band. He has authored numerous articles in the field of music law, estate planning, commercial transactions, and regularly gets invited to deliver speeches and courses about these subjects. His specialties include intellectual property law, production contracts, recording contracts, artist management deals, synchronization deals, talent negotiations, music publishing, debt recovery, reputation management, and a whole lot more. On a small number of clients, Akinyemi functions as a business manager as well as a lawyer. In recent years, he has built up a formidable roster of producer clients from Afrobeats, which include Masterkraft, BlaqJerzee, Northboi, Rexxie, the Grammy-winning producer, Magicsticks, Jaypizzle, and many more. Akinyemi prides himself in helping clients understand the value of their intellectual property rights and to be mindful of the exploitation that is rampant in the industry. We are going to get to that. But ladies and gentlemen, I know you're not here with us, but wherever you are, please put your hands together for Akinyemi Law, as it's popularly known on Instagram. Thank you so much for being here. This is honestly
Thanks for inviting me. I really, really appreciate this.
it's a big honor for me because from the very early stages of the podcast, I think you're one of the people that has been pushing me to go on. So I don't take that for granted. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, my brother.
Congratulations on joining School Fees Gang.
Yeah, so,
How's that going?
well, His grace is sufficient. That's what I can say. God has been faithful. You know, the business is doing well. And I'm thankful to God that we're building slowly and we're starting to thrive. So I'm actually enjoying being a father. And with the many milestones that comes with that, I'm thankful to God.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Congratulations also on the songwriting challenge that happened a few weeks ago. And
Actually, I think like 3 months or 2 months.
Has it been up to 3 months already?
Yeah, like 2 months actually.
My goodness, time is running. Time is running.
Yeah, like from next month, that's
Okay, I remember
October.
that was the Salah period, which was July.
Yeah, I think it was like July,
Yes.
or we started, I think in August.
Okay, it ran for about
Yeah,
3
it ran
weeks.
for like 6 weeks actually. The promotion and
Okay, yes.
everything. Yeah, but it was a good outing.
Yeah, so I want to start the conversation on that note. Why did you think it was important to do that challenge? What was your aim going into the challenge?
Okay, so that's actually like the second time we're having a competition.
Okay.
The first time um, was I think sometime in November, December last year. We had the first competition for songwriters to spotlight them, and this is the second time we're having that competition, just to appreciate the effort of the music industry, to also help people acknowledge the importance of songwriters to everything that is happening in Afrobeat. A lot of people enjoy this music and they do not know that there's actually like a specialty with common melodies. So I think that part of the music industry in Nigeria is still less developed, uncatered to, and it would make a lot of sense if we start to have some kind of intentional efforts from different people, from different players space, because it could also be money spinning subsect of the music industry.
But why do you think it's not as developed as it should be?
Yeah, I think like in any other music market, the recording artists are the superstars. They get all the attention. Even, a lot of record producers in Nigeria are still fighting to get the acknowledgement, to get the plaudits that comes with, you know, creating great music. A lot of them are still fighting to be credited uh, on Spotify or Apple Music. So
So I'm
much
sorry.
less
Is this
songwriters.
is this after they have gone through the due process of documentation?
Yeah, but you find out that you sign all these contracts, and sometimes there could be maybe a mistake, or maybe someone is being mischievous. You created music, but you're not getting credit. And it is important that you are acknowledged for your work so that that can be a ladder to bigger opportunities. So, much less songwriters. If record producers are still struggling to be acknowledged, is a lot tougher for songwriters in Nigeria, particularly in Nigeria.
So I like how you mentioned that even though they have done the proper documentation and all of that, they still try to get exploited. So I now want to segue into the next section. Where exactly do lawyers come in, and what exactly are the functions of lawyers in the music space?
Okay, lawyers are supposed to understand all the legal issues that might crop up, or they are supposed to be able to forecast whatever legal issues that might come up in the future, and then they always do their best to serve the interest of their clients, you know, by proper legal advice, proper business advice, and just to steer the ship in the right direction. Because the foundation of ownership and control in the music business is, you know, the foundation is ownership. So don't own what you're creating, or if you can't control it, you might be at a very disadvantaged position. So usually the music lawyers or the entertainment lawyers are supposed to, by virtue of their expertise, competence, and many years of experience, they're able to advise properly. They're able to also spot problems. And when these problems come up, they are able to provide solutions. So some could, music lawyers can be transactional, which means they're all about the business, the transactions, setting up entities, taking care of paperwork, and all of that. And then some can be litigation lawyers. All they do is put out the fire when the fire starts to rage, and then they go to the courtrooms and they take care of business. When there are suits, they step in. So, and again, we have lawyers that do both.
Okay, because I was
For
about to
me,
ask.
for me, I stopped being a litigation lawyer like 3 years ago. So
Why?
because man, that is another level of hustle, and it can
The
be
fight that
really,
goes
really
on there.
exhausting to do everything. So I just figured that I would be, doing my best if I focus on the transaction area of the music business and I'm able to advise my clients. So, what else? So, a lawyer is supposed to be like your gladiator and then your gentleman. You should be your biggest advocate, always championing your interests, able to spot wahala and help you dodge wahala, able to spot great opportunities for you that can elevate your craft, uh, put your career on the next level because it's a marathon, man. It's not a 100-meter dash, and you at one time or the other would need legal advice on how you can move from one state to the other.
Okay. So, is there any reason why you chose to represent specifically record producers and songwriters as opposed to the actual artists? I mean, you might represent artists that I don't know of, but I see you focus more on like producers and
So yes,
songwriters.
one of the reasons why I have at this time I have more record producers and the reason is because I've been championing their interest for so long. In fact, when I was a very young lawyer, I've been writing articles about, the unfair treatment to record producers and songwriters in Nigeria. So I'm talking about 8, 9 years ago. And again, I'm also looking to see how I can be part of my legacy, helping to build catalogs, helping to um, enrich the careers of Nigerian record producers and songwriters because I believe that they are the backbone of the Afrobeats that is being celebrated globally. Very few songwriters or recording artists are able to match the brilliance of record producers in Nigeria. Because a lot of the time, the beat is what makes the song actually. That's what the people love. That's what the people move to. Very few of them are able to come up with lyrics, or very few of them are able to actually do justice by way of a powerful delivery of the song. So I am like for now, I enjoy representing record producers and songwriters. I have a couple of recording artists as well, but my passion at this time, it might change tomorrow, but at the time of this interview, I'm more focused on recording record producers and songwriters.
All right. So, based on this, I'm guessing that, or I'm not guessing, it's certain that every songwriter producer needs a lawyer.
Yeah, if you want to play big time, if you want to join the big leagues, you would have to. You can't escape it.
Okay, so now there are a lot of the music industry is growing at a crazy rate, especially the Nigerian industry, and there are a lot of young producers doing stuff. So what happens? Because I mean, you have bills to pay also, and they realize they need representation. Uh, how can young producers and songwriters who can't afford your fees, how can they go about getting legal representation at this point?
Yeah, I believe at whatever level you are, in, you would always find a lawyer who is able to represent you. I believe that whether you can go for a new lawyer or fresh out of law school, but who is passionate, who is brilliant, who is able to look out for your interests, or you can look for. I believe everybody at the level of your pocket, at the level of a career, there's always a lawyer around. Now, the where things would be likely different would be the busiest lawyers or the most important lawyers are the most coveted lawyers, whether in Nigeria, abroad, wherever. We have rock star lawyers in Nigeria, outside Nigeria. So I think as you progress your career, maybe you might be able to afford those rock star lawyers. It's just like an upcoming artist in Nigeria looking to be represented by maybe Beyonce's lawyer or Jackson's lawyer. So I think everybody would find
Someone at their level.
a legal representation that would, that it can afford. At even like at my office, I have like four lawyers. We are very, very open to, collaborating with special new talents. Remember, I said special is the underlining word.
Very important.
Anyone who is not special will have to pay for legal representation.
Okay.
But there are times where you see someone that is really, really special, who is putting in a lot of work and is on a journey already, and you can't but just want to be a part of that journey and to support them with the right kind of legal advice or representation.
Absolutely. So let's speak quickly about Hightower Solicitors. Can you tell me about what exactly you do there, and just for the listeners to be aware of what?
Yes, so about 8 years ago, I co-founded a law firm with my best friend. His name is Henry Mejulu.
I think I know that name.
Yeah, he's my partner, he's my best friend. So he's not a music lawyer, I'm the music lawyer. He's a commercial lawyer. And by virtue of my experience, I was once an entertainer myself. And I was at the time also a talent manager and a publicist. And, I think when I started practicing entertainment law, music law, representing practitioners in the creative industry, I just wanted to stand out from the thousands and thousands of lawyers that are being churned out by the Nigerian law school.
Every year.
So I just went back to, my passion, and it makes a lot of sense that when I left my tutelage experience with my former law firm, it made sense that I would start a practice that is solely dedicated to, representing creatives, recording artists, record producers, and songwriters. So, that is why I think I live vicariously through my clients, all those rock stars that I'm representing. By representing them, I also get to live that lifestyle. So I think.
So I was going to ask if the business has been booming, but based on your last statement, I can already tell that you're enjoying.
I believe we've not scratched the surface yet. The plan at Hightower Solicitors is to be a Pan-African law firm, to represent the interest of the biggest, the brightest, the most, the best talent out of Africa in the music industry and in the film industry as well. But for now, we're solely focused on the music industry because, um, as the founder of the practice, that is like my first constituency. But I know that at the right time, we will expand to, other sectors of the creative industry fully.
So anyone that needs representation now can contact you.
Well, all this work we're doing, well, we're doing amazing work, and we've earned a reputation for ourselves, and we'll keep growing. If there is anyone out there, who feels they would like to collaborate, work with us, why not? We're always open to doing great
With
things
special people.
with special people. Yeah.
That's amazing. I also know that you have something, or you work with Greysage.
Yeah.
So can you also tell us quickly about Greysage?
So I'm always like a co-partner, co-founder, co-everything. So Greysage is a consulting company that I also co-own with a few of my partners, and we offer certain services cater to the creative industry and the legal industry. We stage workshops, seminars, webinars. We're looking forward to our first conference very soon as well. maybe when the pandemic totally blows over, we'll be able to stage a conference proper. So pretty much, it's a consulting business that is heavily focused on advocacy and knowledge sharing for the creative and the legal industry.
All right. That's amazing work. You seem to be very busy. Yeah, that's really good. So you made a statement that the foundation in the music industry is ownership. And my aim for the listeners at the end of this episode is for everyone to have their LLBs in quotes.
Okay, from a podcast, hey,
That was a joke,
that's
but
difficult.
I want everyone to be
Better
aware,
schooled.
yes, on the fundamentals of the business or the basics of intellectual property, which is one of your major areas of strength. So I want you to talk about ownership and how that works. So, for example, I come to you as a producer. For example, I'm an artist. I want to sing, and we create a song together. You make a beat. I sing on it. What's what is the next step of action or next line of action afterwards, and what are the nitty gritties of the intellectual property in such a scenario?
Okay, so intellectual property in itself is a legal concept that confers ownership on people who build new products, who build new ideas that can be perceived, or people who build reputation. So we're talking patents, copyrights, trademarks. Trademarks is about reputation. If you are known for uh, delivering a product that is excellent, maybe like you make the best shoes and your name is maybe Nike or Adidas, or you have a logo, that is what trademark protects. Now, when it comes to the music business, the fundamental theory of law that kind of, really explains who owns what is the law of copyright. And what is copyright? Copyright says when you create something original, something in a fixed form, like music, like movies, like pictures, and the likes, copyright says that you have the exclusive right to be the one to benefit from what you created. So in the music business, if you wrote that lyric, or if you wrote the lyrics to a song, or you created an original beat in a fixed form, or you shot a music video to a song you own, then you will be the one in a position to exclusively enjoy what you created. So there are many rights that are connected to their, being the one who created something. We call them economic rights. So essentially, copyright means the right to copy. So number one is you have the right to copy what you created. You have the right to copy it and make other duplicate copies. Number two, you have the right to reproduce. Oh, duplicate is the same thing as reproduce. You have the right to display. So if you create new copyright work, you have the right to display, put it in store, maybe on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Music. Number three, you have a right to distribute. So, you know, we know that music gets to the stores when you're able to distribute.
Sure.
So after you create music as a product, it has to be distributed so that people can consume it. Number four, you have a right to the public performance of what you created. And for every, like in music now, for every song you listen to on radio, on TV, there are two sides to that song. So there's what we call the composition element of a song, of a record, I mean. There's the composition, which is the written uh, form of music. That is the composition. After you write music, somebody's going to perform it. Now, when you perform it, and then somebody captures that performance in what we call a sound recording, you have created another copyright.
Okay.
So this is the second copyright in the record. Number one was the composition, was the written part of the song. After every written song, which is the songwriting aspect of creating a record, there is usually a vocal performance
So when you go into the booth and
when
then
you go into the booth to perform that. And then after you're done performing, somebody will capture the performance in a fixed format, maybe through using microphones and computers. Now you create another copyright, which is or the masters. And for these two elements of every record, these two different copyrights, they generate two different types of royalties. So the written aspect will generate all those royalties that we call publishing royalties. And then the sound recording will generate what we call master royalties.
so royalties here being the
Earnings that
from
comes from consuming
those
the
copyrights.
record. Yeah, those copyrights.
Okay.
So yes, after you're done creating music with someone, because music is very collaborative, you have to understand that you've created an asset, and now the question is, who owns what? To what degree do you have some kind of ownership in what you just created? What is the split in the composition? Is it 50-50? Is it 75-25? Because I contributed more, can I claim 80%? Because you wrote just a verse, 20%, because it is my sound recording.
Okay. So in a situation where people are in a studio, uh, let's say a typical song that has two verses, a hook, and maybe a bridge, for example.
So you have to think about everybody that came together to create. Now, there are two sides to the song. Every record, 50% is for, all the melodies, all the percussion that you can find on the track,
You should call the beat.
the beats, the instrumentals. And then the other side would be the lyrics, the verses, the chorus, the hook. So usually it is supposed to be split in two. Maybe whoever created all those tracks would 50% because I'm the producer. And then the other 50% will be shared by those who contributed lyrics. But I think a lot of people are more disposed to just having an equal split between everybody who came together. So now, if a producer created a record and there are maybe 2, 3 other featured um, songwriters or recording artists who wrote their songs themselves, so the producer will just say, okay, let's just split it 4 ways, 25% because we are 4 people. So everybody owns a quarter of the composition.
So if the artist that now sings the song that we hear doesn't write any lyrics, they'd have no part in that composition aspect of the royalties.
Thing is, in the absence of any written document, it leaves room for a lot of confusion on who owns what and who gets the publishing royalties that would come from that song. Remember, if you create music, music also has its own uh, it has its own life. How do I put this? So music is never dead when you die. It's going to be alive for a while as well, and it will continue to generate royalties even when the creator is long gone. It could be a song can be alive for another 70 years when the composer is dead.
So someone like Michael Jackson now, his music is still earning money for him.
Yes. So the music is an entity on its own that is still alive, that is still contributing in the creative space, that is being consumed. And Michael Jackson's estate is entitled to the royalties that are generated by virtue of consumption of his work exclusively, maybe for another 70 years after his death. So all those songs that he wrote, he would continue to earn from those songs, even posthumously.
That's really interesting. So you mentioned in the absence of documentation, it leaves room
Yeah,
for
so there's likelihood for confusion. You don't know who owns what. So when some of these original collaborators, when they die, their estates do not know how to deal with their property, because music is also like property. It can be bought, it can be sold, it can be transferred, it can be inherited, it can be mortgaged. So it can be used as a collateral for a loan. So that is how commercially important songs are, records are.
Okay, so since we are focusing here on the people at the back end, so writers, producers, I think we'll be more focused on the composition aspect of the of the recording. So how does a producer, for example, now harness these earnings, for example, because based on this, a song can go very viral. So I mean, Wizkid's Essence, for example, that started maybe somewhere in Lagos, is all over the world now. And based on what you're saying, if they both wrote the lyrics, that means they're earning money from that song all over the world.
Yes.
So how can a songwriter harness their earnings? Because from my understanding of this, it means that the song is being played in different parts of the world, and so it's generating money in all those parts of the world. So how can they get all their money in layman terms?
Yeah, so they have to be properly set up to collect these monies. So that means you must be registered to a collecting society. That's like the foundation for being able to access this these royalties. Number two, you have to have like someone who is able to collect these monies across all the territories for you. So that someone can be somebody who takes care of your catalog, who oversees your catalog, who makes sure that you earn royalties from your catalog. Number three, which is also very, very important, is that your ownership or your interest in anything you create should be properly documented by signing split sheets and proper contracts, songwriter contracts, producer contracts. So I think those are the three major ways to guarantee that you're able to earn from your works. Because when you have a split sheet, you have to submit your split sheet to your collecting society or to whoever is taking care of the catalog, and then they're able to go to all those territories all over the world, collect the money on your behalf. They're able to go to all the digital stores globally. They're able to go to radio stations, able to go to arenas, anywhere music is being consumed. They're able to track it through the use of technology, through the collaboration of collecting societies, through relationships with distribution platforms. They're able to, send in your split sheet and then they're able to collect on your behalf.
So speaking of collection societies, which ones are available now for people to join?
Yeah, in Nigeria, you have like, I think, two. You have MCSN and you have COSON. In the US, you have BMI, ASCAP, and in the UK, you have PRS. Even in South Africa, they have their own version of their own collecting society.
Capasso?
I think, yes, there's Capasso and then there's Samro. So everybody who is a songwriter has to be a member of a collecting
You can
society.
join anyone.
Yeah, I think myself, I have a lot of my clients who are affiliated with collecting societies in and out of Nigeria.
Okay.
So
That's
there
amazing.
isn't any kind of restriction per se.
But is there, I mean, because there's been this conversation around COSON and I'm trying to pick my words carefully, but more people tend to want to sign with collection societies outside Nigeria than,
Yeah, that's a fact. I
and
think
why is that
eighty
so?
percent of my clients are like that. So the thing is, when you compare, the stature of collecting societies, people really, really want to affiliate with the best, those who have been around for a longer period, and those who seem to be more transparent with their operations, or those who seem to be more adept with using the best of technology to collect royalties. So I think that is the reason why a lot of people choose to be affiliated abroad than the local collecting societies in Nigeria.
because I've seen a lot of situations where people advise others. I was in a conference once and some people were saying, "Oh, they're going to sign with COSON," and someone told them, "Don't try it." And
Well,
it was like a death
I've
threat.
been an advocate for COSON for a long time, and I think they are getting better. Hopefully, maybe another 5, 10 years, they'll be able to, become a lot more efficient and transparent with more capable hands. I believe it's still a new entity, and it can only get better. So I think they've recorded a lot of accomplishments short in the short time they've been around, and if they get better, if we give them more time to grow, who knows?
Hopefully, hopefully they improve because I know BMI is free to join as a songwriter, and that makes it very easy for a lot of people to just go ahead and sign up for
Yeah,
them.
Kosan is free as well.
Oh, it's I thought there was a fee they
No,
paid.
there is no fee. All you just need to do is sign the agreement.
The agreement, okay. Now let's go back to record producers. Do record producers get the same way artists get record deals? Do record producers get any sort of deals from established record labels?
Yes, you could land a production deal with a big record company. You could also land a big publishing company with a big publishing company as well. So yes, we have the same opportunities are available, except that the nature of work or the job description is different. As a recording artist, what is expected of you is different from what is expected from a record producer.
Okay. So what of record producers that kind of do both?
Yeah, it depends. You have to be sure that you understand what the deliverables are. Some people might be signing you just for your recording services.
Okay. So it's always
While,
specified.
yeah, I think it's best to just have it well documented. Some producers will be signed for their recording services, which is they will be recording original music and delivering to the record company, while some will be signed for their producer services,
Okay.
which is to make beats or to come up with um, you know production for maybe artists signed under the label or artists outside of the label.
That's quite interesting. Now I want to quickly segue into trademarks because I know this is something you're also very passionate about. I think there was one time you put up a post for producers or record producers and I think songwriters to trademark their names and things like that. And I want to for a case study, I want to use the example of Kizz Daniel, who he was Kizz Daniel before, and with the whole issue with his record label then. So I want us to use that as like a case study to for you to explain the whole issue of trademarks and how important it is for people to get their brands trademarked and how they can even go about it.
Yeah, so you know, in the marketplace, it is good to have a good reputation. What makes you successful in the marketplace is that you can be easily identified. Maybe there are like 10, 15 people doing the same thing you're doing, or 10 or 15 products that solve the same problems. You want to be able to stand out from how you look and then your name. So, same thing in the music business. It is your reputation that would sell your tours, your concerts, your endorsement relationships, selling your music videos, and the likes. So, yes, you want to be able to protect your name and everything that defines you, everything that helps to identify you. Because if you fail to do that, then somebody else might have more priority, or somebody else might have a better claim in law to that name. So if you are going by a particular name and then you fail to maybe protect your access to that name, somebody else somewhere that might never have met you might go a step further and then properly document that name
While you still own it, while you still bear it,
while you're
rather.
still using it.
Yeah.
And then there might be a reason to sell in the same marketplace. And what the concept of trademarks is that everybody should be able to enjoy their connection to their service or their product. And nobody should be able to profit off somebody else's goodwill or connection to the service or the product. So if somebody else has gone ahead to properly register the name, if the matter gets to court, the person might have a better avenue of proving that they were first in line to register. And it could be the case that you actually started using that name, but nobody knew about it, or the name wasn't that prominent when you started using it. And then it comes along maybe 2, 3 years after you started using the name and it was prominent before you. And then you could also have a claim to say, oh, but this is my original name, blah, blah, blah. But then the court would have to decide who has more priority, who has done what should be done.
So it doesn't matter who started first.
Exactly.
Documentation is really
It
important.
is very important. And then you have to register in territories that you might be interested in. Because music is a world, it's a global sport. The marketplace is global. You can be a Brazilian artist living in New York, singing African music,
Yeah.
and your biggest fans might be from Germany, and then you know, so it's a lot to do with. You might need to just focus on how to protect your trademark, your name, your reputation in the markets that are most important to you.
Okay. But will it be possible to register everywhere?
Yeah, you can if there are some conventions or there are some territories where when you register in a particular territory, it will take care of other parts of the territory. Like if you register in any of the European countries, you know, if you register under Euro law, you'll be protected in the Eurozone. So also there are other conventions that when you register under the convention, you get protection from the territories that subscribe to that convention.
Right, so say someone wants to trademark, maybe a producer or singer or songwriter
Yeah,
wants to
I would always
trademark.
advise you start from Nigeria, and as you get bigger, Afrobeats is really expanding. Register in the Eurozone, register in the UK, register in
Yeah,
the
UK
US,
is big. So how
and
can they go
Canada.
about it in Nigeria? Where do
Yeah,
they go?
no, just get can reach out to any music lawyer, entertainment lawyer.
Can reach out to you.
Yeah, then you can also register with anyone who has done it before that has a track record of getting it done.
All right. So you were speaking earlier, and I kind of remember this whole situation of some guy named Wisekid that went to Audiomack and put up a whole made in Lagos. I think it was his. I think he called it Lagos Made or something, and he had amassed a crazy number of streams also by using a name kind of similar to Wizkid, and also using the name of the album. But now I think he was taken down by Audiomack and stuff. But based on your explanation, he wasn't exactly using Wizkid's name. He also wasn't using the Made in Lagos name as it were on Wizkid's album. So where did the law find him at fault in that situation?
Well, if there's any likelihood of confusion,
Okay.
if my name is Akinyemi Law now, if anybody comes with Akin Law and is maybe doing the same thing that I'm doing, there's going to be a likelihood of confusion. So even Kizz Daniel and Kizz Daniel is
Still
still like the same thing. So I don't know what the court is saying about that, but it's just there's no difference. If you are Wisekid and I'm Wizkid, it's like somebody's mischievous with trying to benefit where they didn't sow. trying to reap all the benefits of my notoriety or my reputation for excellence, and you're trying to profit off that. So that could, be a problem. And I'm happy that the whiskey camp were able to move in fast on that,
Very
and they were able
fast.
to arrest the situation.
So let's even speak about Kizz Daniel's situation, because he was signed to a record label at that time. But then on leaving the label after the whole debacle, he decided to take, or rather, they said he couldn't use that name again. So could you explain why the label was able to do that? And
Well, the thing is, I don't know what is signed,
okay,
and you know, I don't know. I've been privy to a lot of contracts where trademark is also always like an important issue, but usually the talent gets to keep their names, except in cases where there is a band. Maybe the label is bringing like two, three, four, five people together, and then they have the name for the band, and then they trademark the name for the band. But for like 99.9% of contracts that I've seen, the artist would be the owner of his name. But I don't know what
what
Kiss signed.
details of his contract
I don't know details, so I
was.
can't really speak to that.
So, which brings back the importance of having a good lawyer when you are signing contracts like that. Because I'm guessing anyone that, if he had you, for example, or anyone in that situation that probably would have spotted out if there was a
Yes,
clause like
yes,
that
you would have objected to that kind of clause.
situation.
Yes.
Another very big issue or big case with songwriting and who owns what in Nigeria is the whole Tiwa Savage, Shay on Lova Lova. And it's been going on for a while. And recently I was even listening to a podcast, where apparently the person played the original demo. I don't know if you've heard it before.
Shay's
So Shay actually wrote, okay, so here's what happened. Shay and Caesar Millie
yeah,
actually wrote Lova Lova and recorded a demo
the
version
demo, yeah.
produced by Gospel on the Beats. And somehow, Tiwa Savage ended up being the one that made the song go viral and stuff. And Shay started claiming rights to it, as she should have, because based on what you've explained now,
Did she make any move beyond just talking to her?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But when I heard, for the fact that there was a record, I mean, it had just
Was the
been.
original played on the podcast?
Yes, it was.
Serious?
I when I heard
I,
it too,
I have to listen then.
I would send it to you after this. It was a different beat. So Tiwa Savage version was produced by Spells and had Duncan Mighty. But in the original demo, the beginning of the song, there was a part where Sizamili did some ad libs or stuff like that. It was also there, and the exact lyrics and everything had Sheishi's voice on
Are
it.
you
I
serious?
was I was screaming when
Are you
I'm
serious?
telling
I
you,
would like to listen to
it
that.
was Motolani Alake, the Pulse writer.
Yeah.
He has a podcast also. I think
Serious?
I'm telling you,
But the one you are saying where it was played is
it's on the podcast. They played it on the podcast.
what's the name of the podcast?
Terms and Conditions
Okay,
podcast.
okay.
I
I'd
think
have
it's
to check that out.
Excel, Joab, Melody
Oh,
Hassan, and
great, great, great.
I,
So
I I screamed honestly.
um, if she has a legal team and she's interested in pursuing that, that's something that can easily be dealt with. She should go after the publishing interest on the new record, because that is a derivative. If she wrote the lyrics in that song, and the Akinyemi is now
I didn't believe my
rival now
ears.
use the song, because I think that's one of Tiwa's biggest songs.
It took over Nigerian airwaves
Yeah.
that year that it came
So
out.
that must have been, the thing is with creatives, when they are slighted or cheated, it's cut differently. Like
Yes, because it's
it's
your hard work.
painful, yeah. And then you see someone else thriving off
In fact,
your creativity
on that
without
podcast, go
any
on.
kind of acknowledgement.
On that podcast, there was a recorded phone call conversation between Shay and Tiwa Savage. It was.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you, I want to look for it now, but I don't think we'll have the time to play. So
I think you should give these guys some snippets.
Okay,
it on
so
the
I'm
podcast.
going to put it on the
Yeah,
podcast
yeah.
actually, and I'll send it to you. So,
But that's true.
but I hope that won't cause any
That's another copyright
copyright
stuff. You have to get
exactly.
permission.
Okay.
No, but again, we're analyzing it, so it's not like
It was
Well,
I couldn't believe my ears, honestly. But see, I don't want to get into any copyrights before Motala will come for my head. But I'll definitely send it to you. Yes, definitely do that.
Listen.
Because it was a big issue, and for a long time, I mean, nobody, at the end of the day, I could understand why people were on Tiwa Savage's side, because she was also in the dark. And it ended up being that Cizamili was the one that illegally, there was a whole thing around that. But it was such a, I think it's a scenario that needs to be broken down and used as a case study.
Wow, man, I think I would go over, listen, and
I'll just send you like the timestamps. It was I don't know who sent that version to Motolani, but I mean that's his job. He's a journalist. I don't know how they got the phone call conversation between Shay and Tiwa. So everyone, what you're going to be hearing for the next couple of seconds or minutes is an excerpt from the Terms and Conditions podcast by Pulse. Credit for this goes to Mutolani Alake of the Terms and Conditions podcast.
I actually do have Shay's version of Lova Lova here.
You do?
Hold on.
I just got
hold
the
on.
message now.
Hold up. You're saying that you have. This would be the song that Shay recorded. Is this just Shay alone, or she and Cizamili?
Shay alone on this record. I also have like a conversation between Shay and Tiwa Savage after
Like screenshots or like a recorded conversation?
a recorded conversation.
Oh, wow. Okay, wait, hold up. You're saying, first of all, one at a time. One at a time. You're saying that you have Shay's version, the original version of Lova Lova.
Yes, it's here.
Can we play that? Do we have? Is it possible for us to play that?
Can you guys hear us?
Oh, okay. I think I hear it. Oh.
Yep.
Whoa.
Promise say you go treat me well. Give me good love and no be peace of mind. No be say after I wind up well. Make you no go leave your girl for inside well.
Whoa! I think we can pause it now. Bro.
So here's the thing.
This is wild.
The version that we can hear here
Yeah.
was produced by Gospel on the Beats
Okay, the one that came out was produced by Spells.
by Spells featuring Duncan Mighty. Duncan Mighty is not this version.
Yeah, that second verse was where Don Mighty came in.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Both songs, she says she co-wrote her version.
Okay.
But the other songwriter on the verse on the song is Cizamili.
Yeah, he's the one that did the Lamba at the beginning.
Yeah, it's Cizamili. Cizamili is saying that so Cizamili co-wrote some of the songs and Cizamili gave it to Tiwa Savage. That was how the song got to Tiwa Savage.
And obviously he didn't inform Shay. So like Shay said, she was just in America.
Exactly.
A
And
song
she
that she
found the
knew that
song.
she recorded.
That she said her team was perplexed. And
If
then
you,
she had
if
a
you run
conversation-
mad.
She had a conversation with Tiwa Savage about it.
So you have the conversation, Shay.
Yeah, I do, actually.
Do I want to know where you got it from?
You don't know.
No, he's not going to tell you, of course.
We can hear it, yeah? We can hear
Yeah,
it.
we can.
All right,
Alright.
let's-
Well, let's analyze that song first.
First of all, okay, hold up. This is a lot to take in. The first version, which we just heard, the beat was changed.
Yeah,
You know,
beat was changed.
This one is more folksy.
I don't like this.
The other
beat.
one is Afro. I
don't like this original beat. Shout out to Spells.
Yeah.
Shout out to
I
Spells.
think this one is more up tempo. I think it was slowed down.
No, this one is slow. This
This
one is
slower?
slower. This one is slower than the other one. That one is faster.
No, this is more
No,
up
this is-
tempo.
this is-
It's faster.
Yeah.
That one was faster, I think.
No. I think this is faster. Tiwa
And the
Savage's
way
version
Shay
was-
came on it is faster.
was slower. Tiwa Savage's version was slower. Yeah.
Okay. But the tempo of that one, I think that one was faster, but it's fine. And then the difference is Duncan Mighty and some of the other things that made that song blow. The beat was better. Obviously.
The beat was better. Duncan Mighty had a great
Duncan Mighty
verse
had a great verse on it. Duncan Mighty was on a great run at the time.
at the time.
In the middle of a great run, actually.
In
He did
this
songs with
in
everybody.
this version, Sizamili's Lamba is at the beginning.
Let's finish.
There be no profanity. Wanna see so we
So I had to fast forward it a little bit.
Yeah.
So no Duncan Mighty.
Sizamili's Lamba.
Yeah.
And this one is at the beginning.
Yeah.
In Tiwa Savage, I don't think it was at the beginning. I think it was it at the beginning? I think it was somewhere in the middle. Because I'm trying to remember it from the
I can't
music
even
video.
remember, to be honest.
I'm remembering from music.
I
think it
can't
was somewhere
remember. I can't remember.
At the middle or something.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Obviously, this is very, very unfinished.
Yeah.
What we are even listening to is probably the first studio effort.
Yeah, it's not mixed. This
Wasn't
wasn't
mixed.
mastered. But it's actually interesting. What I want us to talk about is then the conversation that they had. She said Tiwa called her.
Did the conversation really happen?
I have the conversation.
Let's hear it.
Are you guys ready?
Let's hear it.
Say hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha.
I don't trust it, Olani, I beg.
Hello, T.
Oh, shit.
Hi, love. Hi.
Yes, I can.
Okay. So look, Tiwa, yeah? I don't want voila. See, I don't want negative vibes, yeah? Everybody has called me from Auntie Azuka to Tasha to Kamal to every different people self where I'm sure maybe you don't even know about this matter. And they've told me that one way or another, either way, you're not going to give me any credit for what I allegedly wrote on this, your record. Yeah? And I'm not happy about that, but I can't beg you for credits. Do you understand? I'm told that you have evidence that Gospel said I didn't have anything to do with it.
Whoa.
Gospel also told me that, yeah,
Pause,
he
please.
spoke to you,
Pause.
right?
We're going to finish this version, actually. We're going to finish this.
Yeah, but that's
How long is it?
About 12 minutes.
the first version of the song we heard was produced by Gospel.
Yeah.
And here Shay is saying that Gospel said she had nothing to do with it.
Exactly.
We got the breakdown.
No, but here's the thing.
So that
Gospel is saying that Shay had nothing to do with the song. So if Gospel is saying Shay had nothing to do with the song, it means that Tiwa Savage legitimately could take the song up.
yes, that means Tiwa Savage
Believed that.
So it is not on Tiwa?
But let's continue.
And he told you that the song was not brought, but we all created it in the studio, right? I don't know how far your conversation went with him, but I've spoken to him, and he admitted and he confessed. He said, "Yo, I know what part you wrote. I know your melody. I have everything here in my studio, and I know when you did it, and I know what you did." I said, "Exactly. Do you understand?" So I have him too saying that. Do you understand? And even Caesar, I have him too saying it. I have the Snapchats of the day that we were happy about what we wrote. I have my voice notes. You as a writer, you know when you're writing a song, you record it, maybe you put it on voice notes or whatever. I have that. I have the Snapchats. I have the demo. There's no need for me to lie or to fight you on top of this matter where it's not going to even make me rich. I don't want money. I don't want any of that. My team have been pressuring me to go for my credit and go for what's rightfully mine. And that's all, I think Kamal tried to do when he spoke to you. And even when I tried to speak to you that day too, just let you know. Because what Caesar did really, is a bit messed up. Because I know that if you knew that I had it...
Now, let's talk about Caesar, right? A young guy, superstar potential, fantastic songwriting skills.
One of the best in the business.
Claims he's even written a song for Rihanna, right?
So it was in the writing camp.
That was in the writing camp for Rihanna, right?
Mhm.
Hasn't been able to catch a break as an independent artist, and he once claimed to write a song for Burna Boy.
This was when was this?
That was about 2 years ago.
I remember this.
Yeah. But here's the thing: his own label put out a statement. Burna Boy was angry, if you guys remember, that the only person that wrote a song for him on African Giants was Peruzzi. And do you guys know what that song was? Pull up. Yeah, but Peruzzi never even got credited for the song, by the way. He never got credit for the song. Because if you check like the rollouts and the credits, his name is not there. Tobechuku, what's his name again? Something. Aristocrat put out a statement. You guys remember? His label put out a statement that he never wrote a song for Burna Boy.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy has a history of deception. Let's continue.
Had anything to do with that song. You may not have actually taken it. He's played me your songs as well. And I said, I don't want them.
But here's also the
That
thing.
makes for a better
especially in
story, by the way.
advanced climbs. In advanced climbs where people record songs. Like, for example, Chandelier by Sia was
Sia.
offered to Rihanna.
Yeah.
I think she recorded it and passed on it. I think Miley Cyrus's party in the USA, I think it was a Katy Perry song. Katy Perry passed on it. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So in this situation, Shay had clearly not passed on our version of Lova Lova. So who was right? Who was right? Who was wrong here? Clearly, it doesn't look like it's either them.
It's looking
looks-
like
Sizamili
is the villain
Is the villain of
of
this
this
entire
story.
conversation.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Huh.
I just feel like it's getting out of hand. You know, I didn't tell anybody that I wanted to go public or do anything like that. I just wanted you to know my involvement in that record. When I heard your single out, I called Caesar immediately. I was like, yo, he didn't say anything to me for almost 2 weeks. Do you understand? And when I finally did speak to him, it was after my manager had spoken to him. Yeah? And my manager had gotten a confession out of him. Can you believe? He was now telling me, oh, fuck me, fuck this, fuck that. And I said, Caesar, are you sure that you want to say that I didn't write anything? He said, you didn't write anything. Not knowing that I've already spoken to my manager. My manager has told me that he's already caught him, that he's already admitted. So why he's doing bravado with me, I don't know. But like I said, I don't want to beg you.
Yeah.
I can't be begging you for, credit and all these things. Do you get? Like, it doesn't make sense. So since you don't want to acknowledge that or credit me or whatever, I just want you to know that yes, I did have a lot to do with that record because it was my session, it was my vibe. I told Gospel what I wanted. I told Caesar what I wanted. I changed the parts that I didn't like. I used my own melody for that hook that his own voice is on, that he's doing. I have everything. I have all the evidence. Do you understand? And if I wanted to fight with you, honestly, I wouldn't be doing it this way. And I don't want any problems between you and I. Because the same place that song came from, or the vibes or the idea, is the same place many more songs will come from. So it's not really about fighting or any of these things. Like, I can write songs like that or melodies like that in my sleep. It doesn't matter. And I'm sure you can too.
Talk your shit, Shay.
I just wanted you to know
Talk your shit.
that boy is lying to you. Yeah? And I have no reason to lie.
Melody,
And
stop
I'm even
pressing your
happy
phone.
that it's you that sang it. Because it sounds dope. Do you get? But as long as you just know, I'll free the song for you, you guys. It's fine. Have it. Just take it. It doesn't matter. I'll free everything.
Does Tiwa Savage
Just want
respond
you to
in
know
all
that,
this?
Tiwa.
Yeah. Yes.
To be honest with you,
Yeah?
I just felt I'm not getting any credit because when he came to me, he didn't play me your version. He played me a melody from his voice note.
You see.
He started singing it. The whole thing.
Oh, wait. Sizamili didn't play. Shay says Sizamili played her Shay Tiwa Savage's record. But Tiwa Savage is saying that Sizamili never played her Shay's record.
So Sizamili went to re-voice on
A voice note. And played that for Tiwa Savage.
Dog, the plot thickens, bruv. The plot thickens like. Yeah, let's
Do
continue.
the
You
analyzing.
see.
Right, so he did the song. He did some parts, same thing. I didn't like it. I changed some lyrics and melodies, because verse is completely different from your verse.
Are the verses completely different?
The first verse is not.
It's not different at all.
But then again, but hold up. First of all, she didn't listen to Shay's version. She listened to what Sizamili played.
Yeah.
So maybe Sizamili went to do new verses and stuff, and that's what she heard. Do you get?
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I even told him I didn't want that verse, so I redid it, me, him, and Phil. So he came back to me and he said that you're asking for credit. So I said, did she write that? First of all, I didn't even know you're giving the song to anybody. I don't touch anything that anybody has done.
I don't touch anything that anybody has done. Have you ever seen Tiwa Savage in a situation like this before?
Nope. First and only time. She was lied to, bro. She was lied to.
So the villain here is not Tiwa Savage. But is she right to be aggrieved and to be telling Tiwa Savage that you stole my song?
Because Tiwa Savage is the one that eventually sang it. Yes, we can understand why she would channel that energy there.
But
the song became a hit record.
Here she's saying, I give it to you. She said it. Should we go back?
Yeah, I heard it.
Let's continue.
You bring a song to me and they say, we've already presented it to this person. The worst I'll do is I'll tell them I'll jump on that song with that person.
Yeah.
I don't take songs. Or if I've spoken to the person and the person is telling me you can have it.
Do you guys think that Tiwa Savage, if she had heard Shay's version, she would have said, let's jump on the song together?
I can't say for sure, but imagine that.
Imagine if Lova Lova was Tiwa Savage
and
Shay and Duncan Mike.
Bro, that would have been wild. Let's finish what
Song. But in all my history of any song I've released, there's no song that I have not had involvement in. I've never had a song 100% written for me.
Right.
I've never done that.
Right.
And when he told me that you wanted credit, that was the first thing I asked. I said, you can only get credit if you're part of the writing. He said, no, that you've never written anything. All the 5 songs that he wrote for you for your EP or your album, he said you didn't write anything, that he writes everything 100%.
Can you imagine this guy?
Are you sure? Because he doesn't do that with me.
Men has come. Let's finish this up.
I said, are you sure? He said, yes.
Tiwa, can I just quickly interject?
I can't give credit. But I'm not, so I let you finish everything, Shay.
Okay,
So
I'm
you're
listening.
saying that I don't want to give you credit and it's fine. I'm not saying I don't want to give you credit because you wrote on the song. If you write on the song, then you're gonna have credit.
But what you believe is that I
I'm
didn't.
not giving credit
Yeah.
because I got on the phone with Gospel and Gospel said the same thing. He said, Mama, I'm not going to lie to you.
Hold up,
Gosh,
pause. Second men has come moment here. First of all, we have her.
But here's the thing. Do we even know for a fact that she ever wrote on this song? It's only her word here.
It's her word here. But Shay says that
Her manager
confirmed that Sizamili confessed to her manager. So there might be another recording out there in the wind of Sizamili confirming to.
I like this part. Put this part down.
Yeah, he told me that. He said that.
He said if we go to court, he's ready to. Yeah, he said he's ready to testify that you didn't write the song. So it's not just Caesar.
So Gospel on the
Caesar
Beat said
and Gospel.
he's ready to testify that Shay did not write the song.
Yeah.
So these are the people that Shay should actually have problems with. You can't. Let's finish.
Yeah, but Gospel has changed his tune now as of this morning, and I have the
Wait. Another recording. Donani, whatever source you got this recording from, try and reach out to that source to see if we can get that other recording.
Recording of it. I had to remind Gospel. I said, Gospel, you said this to Tiwa, yeah, but do you remember? And I had to play it to him, and I had to remind him, and he was like, oh yeah, it's true, that's your melody. He said he's going to go back and listen to your song because he hasn't even heard your own version properly. Do you understand? So he wasn't sure when he was talking to you. I said, please, you need to go back and refresh that session. Because if you remember correctly, this is the part I wrote. He was like, it's true. He goes, you know what? I'm gonna call Caesar. I'm gonna call Tiwa back actually and correct that. He said, because actually by rights, I should even go. If that's the case, I should even go and claim.
But this thing that Shay is doing in a way is something that a lot of Nigerian artists don't do.
Yeah.
They don't fight for their rights. They don't even know their rights.
Shay is a seasoned songwriter, so
she knows.
She knows.
Let's go.
Claim part of that writing because Tiwa, you know how songwriting sessions go. You can't have 4 or 5 people in a room, right? And nobody puts any, inspiration or any their own, their own inputs. Because you're a writer. And the fact
it's actually interesting that they are both writers.
Yeah,
so,
it is.
When I heard your record,
I've written for artists and they didn't do anything. They're in the room. They're telling me, like an artist.
This is what you were saying.
Yeah. They'll say, I want a song about heartbreak.
I see. I understand that. I did that with Caesar too.
It's easy for me to believe that you can actually be in a room as the artist, but not contribute creatively.
Shout out to Tiwa for admitting that.
Shout out to the debate between 2 songwriters. It's like a debate at this point. And Shay can't, in the debate, your opposing counsel is like,
he's knocking you.
And you're like, I feel him.
Nobody says that's a cult.
Nobody says that.
That's not even concept.
In coming up with the song, which is what gospel and Caesar made me understand.
Well, like I said to you, all I'm going to do now, like I said to you, is let this go. You can have it. And he can have it. I don't even care anymore. Because I have evidence of Caesar admitting, recorded. Right? He admitted. And I have evidence of gospel saying that.
Here's the thing.
She has evidence of both Caesar and gospel. Okay.
Did she send it to Tiwa Savage?
I don't know if she did.
If she sent it to Tiwa Savage, that means she could have said, you stole my song.
But here she's just saying, you know what, you can have it.
But here's the thing. If she never sent it.
But there's no
this morning, which is after he spoke to you. He said, oh shit, it's true. You know what? My bad. You're right. Actually, I remember the part you sang. I have everything recorded. I also have my voice notes. See, I keep all my voice notes of when I was humming the melody onto my phone. I also have.
Caesar said he would hum a melody. You hum that same melody.
Caesar.
Oh, okay. You know what, Tiwa? If you want to believe that, that's fine. Like I said, it doesn't matter because he has more to lose.
But it's so nice to hear people arguing in British accent.
And now imagine. So look at it from Tiwa's perspective again. It's very possible that Tiwa has been in a situation where our producer, the stretch, Kelvin, where she writes everything for an artist. And maybe down the line, the artist will say, I did this.
It's very possible.
I did that. So she's imagining that kind of scenario
probably happened. Maybe
Caesar did all the work. And people know Caesar is a fantastic writer. It's not a hidden thing. People know.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, it could be a thing where, to Tiwa's side, it could be a thing where Caesar did the right thing and this woman just they come claim attached.
If in the right country, in the right climate, so Caesar should be making a ton of money.
Yeah.
If Nigeria was a fantastic country with good system, you're looking at people like Esther Dean. Well, Esther Dean doesn't release music, bro.
Now, with what you have just said, this kind fast crafty P, according to this storyline that Zamili pulled, is it because of the climb we're in, where as a songwriter you have to basically move mad
because here's
to
the
make
thing.
money?
If you write a song for Tiwa Savage, no offense to Shay, if you write a song for Tiwa Savage, Shay has had hits, but in 2018, who would you have wanted to write a song
African
for?
Bad Girl. There's no.
But again, the problem is the dishonesty that we are seeing here.
Web of lies.
Web of lies.
Let's finish. Let's finish our.
Than I do. Why? Because he knows what he's done is wrong. He knows that you'll be upset with him if he tells the truth. Now that he has told the truth and we have it on recording, Kamal has it on his phone. It doesn't matter to me anymore. At least I'm at peace with myself. That's all I wanted. And now I have it. I'm at peace with myself. I don't have to. I just.
And you can understand why Shay might be pissed at this because she has seen that this record is successful.
Oh my God.
Told you to let you understand that I don't have to lie to you, and I'm not lying to you. Caesar has said what he has to say. Thank God, gospel has come out and said the truth. Do you
Gospel.
understand? Because otherwise, that's
Gospel has come out to say wild thing to say.
So
If only somebody told.
2021.
now, to send you all that evidence.
If only somebody told Tiwa Savage the gospel truth. If only. If only.
Should we change it?
Let's finish this.
Conversation between me and gospel, and my voice notes and everything. Whether you choose to listen to it or not, that's up to you. But just so you know, I don't want to fight you now.
she sent.
There's no bad. I'm not on this bad vibe, bad energy thing. If you want to believe Caesar,
Wait. She sent the audio
Yeah.
to Tiwa Savage.
Yeah. If you want, so she sent. If you want to believe it, it's fine. But she also, like, she sent and she's also saying, you know what, what's done is done.
Yeah, but could Tiwa Savage have given her credit? She could have.
She could have.
She could have.
She could have. Let's go. Let's hear it finish.
that's cool. That's fine. I respect you for that. That's cool. But I'm going to send you the evidence I have. Yeah? And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to go any further with this matter.
But since that day that I listened to it, I just realized that there is a lot that could go wrong between the point where you write down a song and the point where it's recorded and uploaded.
Trust me, like you don't know the horror stories that are very prevalent in this business. Where people were in the studio sweating day and night to create music, and somebody else is just thriving off the music. They have this big song that changed their lives, and the people who did the work are not able to benefit. Even in the gospel industry, I represent quite a number of record producers.
In the gospel industry?
That are still suffering. They created music, they created instrumentals, beats, they helped record songs that went viral globally, that set the careers for some of these new A-list.
I know you won't want to mention their names.
I can't. And, the people who did the work are not able to, benefit from.
So,
As songwriters, as record producers. It's really, really pathetic and very, very disheartening. Even in the gospel music industry, that kind of thing.
So you think that because...
You think these guys are Christ-like. They're supposed to be ministers.
So the gospel industry is actually one I'm also quite passionate about because I'm a Christian also. And for a long time, I've seen that there've been a lot of disparity. In fact, if you ask...
I think the gospel industry is the most anyhow type of industry.
When it comes to the music.
If you're not a Nigerian, anyhow means they just do things in the spur of the moment. They don't even give any kind of attention to laying the foundations for business. So you find out that if there's any trending gospel music, any gospel song that is blowing up on radio, on streaming platforms, some other music minister somewhere will just take the chorus
and create
do
their
another
version. Yes.
Another one
without proper documentation. So
no proper licensing. Nobody respects the original creator of the song. Then you find the same song has like 4, 5 different versions on Apple Music, on Audiomack, on Spotify. So and all this can take place within 3 months or 4 months. So if you have a gospel music that is really, really on fire now, you just find that another music minister will just hijack your chorus.
Let me show you something. So I was going through, I don't know if you know Dunsin Oyekan. I was going through, I think there was a particular day I couldn't access my Apple Music, so I went to Audiomack to listen to his album. And I now realized that the album I had been listening to, when I got to the end of the album, it wasn't his name that was there. It was someone else's name. And that person, I took a screenshot because I knew I was going to show it to you. I now went to his own account, original account, and realized that so that person had millions of streams, but his own wasn't up to 1 million as at the point of. So I was even trying to think about it that even Audiomack should have been able to, do something about it, because it was really disheartening that someone else can take a whole album of over 1 hour, and I'm sure I know Audiomack pays for streams.
Yeah.
So the person had, I think, 2-3 million streams.
So that is why, that is why everybody who creates music must have, professionals or experts who look after their catalog. And again, Audiomack is a platform that allows for, creating covers of music and all of that. But at the same time, it could be the case that those who own that catalog have already taken legal steps. They could still leave it on there on the platform,
but the money will be going to them.
The money will be going to them.
So this is the screenshot. So this is the first one. This is the, if you check the name, it's something like Greyzacge there, and you can see the streams there.
Yeah.
2 billion. Now, if you exit that picture and go down, scroll down, you see Dunsin's original one, which is verified accounts there, and I don't even think it's up to 1 million plays.
This one has 2,212,000. Dunsin has 646.
So that's more than almost 4 times the amount of. So I saw it. It was just a random day, and I saw it and I was like, nah, definitely I need to.
I'm sure Dunsin's camp would, actively chase after,
because I think
the royalties there.
It's very easy for in
with
the gospel
technology
industry.
You can easily just make a complaint and then divert the money.
So, but previous earnings cannot, if the person has withdrawn previous earnings.
I don't think any remedy, because it could actually be a faceless person. Or
So you can track.
Yeah, but I think with technology you can track anybody. You go after the account. Where has the money been going to?
Yeah, it's going somewhere.
Yeah, the money must have been going somewhere.
Because I think, as I was saying, that in the gospel industry, it's quite easy for you to say, "Oh, God bless you," and
then you move on.
You move on. And I think it's a knowledge problem, because if you are contributing to the success of a song, then definitely you should also, I understand that you might be doing it for God, but at the end of the day, there is a business side to it that must be taken care of. And so people just need to be aware, which is like part of why I'm doing this, for more people to understand that, you can't just take handshake after playing for a song that goes viral and the artist is paying their bills and is comfortable, and you are still flying bike with your bass guitar on your back. You understand? So things like that are part of the reasons why these conversations are happening, and I'm so excited that a lot of these questions are being answered right now. So as we begin to wrap up, I want to speak about the concept of credits. So there was because you always do this stuff on your Instagram, which I think is very insightful. And if you're not following him on Instagram, you should, at Akinyemi Law, especially if you're interested in music and music-related conversations. So there was something you posted recently. I don't want to mention the artist name. I'm sure you probably know who the artist is. And somebody came up and was like, "Oh, I helped you when you didn't have anything, and you didn't. Now that you've blown, you don't remember me." And there's also another thing that I've also been thinking about, that does any artist actually owe the producers and songwriter credits? So, for example, this is just a random example now. Okay, Wizkid's Made in Lagos. The album art. On the normal album art, people put like a section where you have producers, mixing engineers, and stuff like that. So, is the producer or are these producers and songwriters owed physical credits maybe on the album art or stuff like that? And what's generally your perspective on credits and giving credits to people?
Yeah, the first reference that you made, which is what I posted with somebody crying foul that they helped build the career of a particular singer, and now she's A-list, she's successful, and then she hasn't done anything for him. I think that is the nature of the business, really. When a talent is on the rise, a lot of people come together to push. And in the absence of any proper, well documented relationship, it would be naive of anybody to think they're entitled to reciprocity. I believe this is the see. I believe the music business is one of the toughest business where a lot of people do not appreciate. You know, creatives have very short attention span, and a large chunk of them do not even remember. Um, they do not remember the good times most of the time. They remember just the bad times. They do not remember the good times when people were pouring into them, investing into their craft, and rooting for them, being in their corner to get to the next level. But they remember just the minor disagreements and all of that. So, in the absence of any kind of well documented relationship, see, if you are investing in anybody, just know that it would be naive of you to expect that they would also, collaborate with you or invest in you in the near future. So if you're a talent manager, make sure you get what is due to you. If you're a lawyer, get what is due to you. If you are a co-collaborator, if you are a songwriter, if you're a record producer, just get what is due to you when you can. Because don't think,
Years later.
this person would show me same kindness. So the second thing is, it is very, very important that songwriters and record producers get credited for their work. Let me mention one of the fastest growing and accomplished songwriter, record producer in Nigeria, which is P Prime. P Prime didn't suddenly arrive.
Yeah.
He started working, with I think Zlatan, Copy,
Yeah, that was.
and then Olamide, and now Wiz, and many others. So getting proper credit means you have been acknowledged. People go on the album art, but although not all album arts, not all album arts have the section
Section
for
for that.
credits. But it used to be the case, maybe when we're using vinyl, CDs, and
Yes.
tapes, that people got credits and all of that. But now, where streaming is the order of the day, people still get credits on Spotify. But sadly, especially in Nigeria, a lot of people do not submit the names of songwriters and record producers for proper credits.
Okay, so whose responsibility is it
Yeah,
to do that?
it is whoever submitted the record for distribution.
So most of the time, maybe the
It
artist
is the
and their
recording
team.
artist and their team that should provide all this information to the distributors so that the name of the record producer is there, the name of songwriters that collaborated on the record is there. Because really, leaving all these things to vibe and inshallah is costing somebody something.
Yes, and it's
Because
really
when
sad.
you listen to a great record, some of the records you ask, especially if you're in the business, you say, "Oh, produce this record."
Yes,
Oh,
because you might want to work
who
with that
wrote?
person.
Yes. So in the absence of any kind of acknowledgement,
person
then
has
nobody
lost out.
knows, and that means opportunities are being lost. So that's why I always insist, from the producer contract to songwriter contract, insist on getting your credit. When your credits are not being properly given, pursue further because you're not doing it for now. You're doing it for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now.
And even after the person passes.
Exactly. You want to be acknowledged for all your works.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Because from on days like this now, we can remember, like, for example, we know OJB produced, rest in peace, OJB. He produced Two Faces' first album, and we can give him, and hopefully he's earning credit. His estate is earning royalties from that up to this day and things like that. So I think it's I'm just hoping everyone with time gets accustomed to things like this And I'm sure also if they have, so is there anything that can be done to fix the situation where maybe,
With Spotify.
yeah, and
Yeah, yeah.
distribution platforms
Yes,
like that?
yes. These things can be fixed. All you just need to do is, call the attention of the platform, and they will do the right thing.
Okay. I think that solves the problem for everybody. Okay, so as I know I've said this has been 1 hour already. It's interesting how this time flies every time. But yeah, let's quickly just put some finishing touches to this. So what should every record producer, or before we even get to that, let's speak. Do you work with any engineers?
Yeah, I've worked with a couple.
Because I want
Alpha
to know.
Genie.
Oh, yeah,
I think
great
that's
guy.
I work with a lot of mixing engineers.
So I want to know if there is. So we know songwriters, producers have like points or royalties to earn on composition, but do engineers have any stake in all of this, or where do they get their earnings from?
Nothing is off limits if you want to negotiate for that. But again, that is not the standard industry practice. If you're not writing the music, usually you would not be entitled to publishing royalties. What else? But we've seen in Nigeria, DJs, they get 50% publishing, even when they didn't create any beat or they didn't write any lyric. But because they put everything together, they were the ones that chose the beats. Then they brought this artist come and do the chorus.
So someone like DJ Neptune now, for example.
I don't want to mention any name.
Okay.
But most of them do not even know how to produce any record, but they are good with their A&R skills. They know how to pick the right party records. And then they claim half of the publishing. Then everybody else can split the remaining. So same thing, I think mixing engineers can also, if they have what it takes, if they are that powerful and they have the leverage, they might be looking in that direction as well.
Because why I asked that is that, for example, and why I mentioned DJ Neptune is when Basket Mouth's album came out, everybody was like, Basket Mouth didn't sing on this album, so why is he the owner? So it's just a situation of leverage, I think, at the end of the day, what your stake in the whole thing.
Even when you look at PDD, there are times when he gets credit just for being the one that greenlighted the project and gave the final approval. So maybe as executive producer or being able to choose the producers that worked on each record. So there's still some kind of contribution, but writing the lyrics or creating the instrumentals, I think that's where the major work is.
All right. So can you just give a summary of what every producer needs to have in their backpack when they are going in maybe for a session to ensure that their bases are covered?
Record producers should ensure that they have an idea of what they would benefit for their contribution to the record. So have an idea, am I getting an upfront fee as a producer advance? Maybe like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $10,000. Yeah. So that is number one. Number two, are you going to be getting producer points on the sound recording?
Okay, so the money artists pay for beats is different from the royalties. Interesting.
Exactly. Because the sound recording will be alive for maybe 50 years. After the death of, if it's owned by an individual, after the death of the individual, if it is owned by a company, from when the music is published, they have like 50 years to exclusively exploit it before it goes into the public domain.
50 years?
Yes. So royalties will be generated constantly on that. So you want to be sure that even if you collected $10,000, after it has been recouped, how much is $10,000? After it has been recouped, maybe you continue to get 5% on royalties that are generated on that record.
So this is on the master
for that
now.
50 years, yes, on the masters.
Okay, so producers can get master points?
Yes, they can. call them producer points. Now, after your advance and your master royalties and your points and your producer point, the third, in fact, the most important thing is what percentage of the composition is yours. So, what is your publishing split on the record? So, those are the three major things. Also, the fourth one that I like to add is your ability to also license the record. I've run into many transactions where maybe for whatever reason, the producer and the artist are no longer in good terms. And then the producer needs that money, maybe that's $6,000. And then the bigger guy, who is the artist, says, no, I'm not licensing.
There are so many intricacies to these things.
Yeah, it's a very complex world, but it's an interesting world as well.
So
and there's a lot of money to go around.
That even further shows how important lawyers are, because you guys know all of these things. And so I think every creative, even beyond the music industry, like you said, arts, movies, I even heard somewhere that dance now can be protected.
Yeah, choreography.
So almost every, if not everyone, needs a lawyer, or in one way or the other.
Exactly.
That's amazing. So as we round up, I have like some general questions I like to ask people.
Okay.
So what are your plans for longevity in this business?
Yeah, I believe in getting better, learning new things. I'm studying a lot recently. The law firm is expanding and we're doing more work. So I believe we are well on course to build a Pan-African music law practice that would have, dozens of lawyers just doing God's work for African talents in different countries. That's number one. Number two, I'm passionate about the songwriting community in Nigeria, and I will continue to, do a lot in that space. Songwriting camps, production camps, songwriting competitions, songwriting events. We'll keep doing it. Just to continue to spotlight how important songwriters are in Nigeria. Which is why I had to come on your podcast, because I think, what we're trying to do kind of aligns. And we just need to be able to let people understand that this is also a multi-billion-dollar industry. The recording business is great, but also the songwriting business is also a money spinner. And what else? If I want to be remembered when I'm long gone, maybe like in 80, 90 years' time, I want people to remember me for my work in the Nigerian songwriting community.
I think you're already on the path to that, definitely. And we can look forward to more challenges from you that, by God's grace, will spread far more, and more people will be involved. And I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm available to help in any way that I can.
Like,
absolutely.
I believe we should have something like in the next 6 weeks, a new songwriting
exclusive.
By the way, this is September. I don't know when the podcast is going to be published. This is 18th September.
Yeah.
So when I say in 6 weeks, I'm talking
from today,
maybe November.
Okay. This episode should go live in 3 weeks.
All right. So that means events would not have.
Yes, so people will be aware.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
So in your spare time, what do you do where you're not doing law-related stuff? I mean, apart from gymming. Let's even talk about the gymming. Why everybody that follows you on Instagram knows that there is Akinyemi Law, there is Akinyemi Ayinoluwa, and there is Yemzilla.
Yes,
so tell us about Yemzilla, the gym.
Yeah, Yemzilla is a fun guy. He wants to look fit. He wants to look athletic, and that became a new lifestyle for me since COVID, because when the COVID happened, I gained like 10 kg.
I don't even want to talk about
so
the weight.
I became very, very big. And
I couldn't wear my clothes after the
is,
pandemic.
I was having pains in my legs, and
oh, wow.
I had to lose like 10 kg like in less than 2 months. So when I lost that 10 kg, I started seeing myself as a lepa, as a lean, thin-looking guy. So I needed to just build muscles, and so that's when I started lifting. And I think in November it will be 1 year of actively lifting weights. I think I started my exercise, my Fit Fam journey, I think last year, 2020, sometime in July.
That's
I
interesting.
started running actively every day.
I mean, I met you on one of the days when you were running.
Exactly. So the thing is, I intend to keep this as a lifestyle. I want to stay fresh, look young as long as I can, because this business you also have to look attractive and athletic. So it helps.
Which is why I said if I would hire you as my lawyer, because you can, if you need to
Yeah. So
throw punches.
no, would rather avoid that. So
But I mean-
apart from lifting weights, what do I like to do? I like to have a nice time. Drink a bottle of wine, eat with the people you care about, and just have fun generally.
So how do you because earlier in the podcast we spoke about you welcoming a new baby and all of that, and it's obvious the law business is very time consuming. So how do you strike a balance between all of this?
You see, I really I do a lot of remote working.
Oh, okay. That's
So,
perfect.
I have 2 kids, and me trying to balance my time as something. I never want my work to get in the way of being a responsible father or a loving husband that is always available. So I'm thankful. One of the good things Corona has instilled in us is being able to, work remotely, and the world is adjusting to that. There's a lot of stress on the Nigerian and the Lagos road.
Thank you for specifying.
Yeah, the Lagos road. There's a lot of madness.
It's something else.
It's a blessing when you can work from home. Like, just try to avoid all those long traffic, all those long hours on the road due to traffic. Commute time. Some people, their commute time is like 3 hours, 4 hours. To get to work, they have to wake up as early as 4, 5 a.m. to be at work for 8 a.m.
Trust me, coming from someone that was in Port Harcourt, I don't want to tell you about my first day on Third
You
Mainland
could not
Bridge.
adjust.
I was
took a while.
I was on a suit that day. That was the last day I wore a suit since the time I got to Lagos. I'm telling you, I haven't worn a suit to work since then. It's absurd. It doesn't.
No.
It's not.
Lagos is very hectic, man. Like,
But I think that's good. That's amazing. If you weren't doing music law, what would you be doing?
well, I would have been a super agent. I would have been an advocate in the creative industry, which I'm still doing somehow. Talent management could have been an option. Representing songwriters and record producers as a talent manager too. So I'm happy that I'm working in the music business. I'm really excited for what is possible. The music industry in Nigeria is growing at a fast rate. Our songs, our records are appreciated globally. And, the possibilities are endless.
Very nice. That's really profound. Lastly, I want you to tell us who you would like to see on the podcast, or to hear rather. Who do you think should come on the podcast? So it doesn't
On
have
this
to
podcast?
be on this podcast. So it can be, like I said, the aim of this podcast is to spotlight the guys behind the scenes. So
Yeah, I like Mr. Easy. I think Mr. Easy is my favorite Nigerian music business professional.
thank you for not saying music artist, because he's
Because
way out of that line.
he's
now.
one of my biggest inspiration. Apart from Mr. Easy, Tega Mavin,
Okay.
that is somebody that, very knowledgeable. Godwin Tom is also another guy that I know that he knows his stuff. And, these guys have done a lot of work, and I respect them. And, man, Mr. Easy blows my mind up every time, every day. He's the only guy that I'm really, really looking forward to
His vision is
meeting with, and
crazy.
seeing in the near future. I'd also like to work with him. So Who else? Who else? Who else?
I mean, think of producers, A&Rs,
yeah, man.
lawyers.
In terms of producers, I love SARS. I like SARS to just, it's one of the reasons why I'm actually lifting weight. Like,
yeah. Oh, yes, that's true. SARS is
Yeah.
another gym rat.
So, SARS, shout out to SARS, man.
SARS, answer my DM.
It will happen now. Just go through his.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me, Mr. David.
I mean, I can't begin to express how receptive you've been since we got into conversations with this, and I'm really, really super grateful for this. Where can people find you on social media if they want to connect?
Akinyemi Law on Twitter, on Instagram, but I'm most active on Instagram.
Okay, and your law firm?
Yeah, my law firm is situated at Dolphin Estate, but you can just check online, Hightower Lawyers.com. You can reach out if you're trying to connect with us.
All right, reach out, get representation today. I will not say it again.
Thanks for the shout out.
Thank you so much. I hope everyone listening has learned a thing or two. Please follow the podcast on our social platforms: Twitter at WMTSPod, Instagram at Who Made That Song Pod, and YouTube Who Made That Song with a question mark. This podcast is available.
Make sure you follow, support, share,
like, leave a rating, please. It's really important because
we need to support this songwriting.
I need more people
focused show. Yeah.
And share with someone, like he said already. Follow me on my personal account at DavidRotimi_. Feel free to send me a DM or anything. Leave a very nice review and comment. And see you guys on the next episode. We are signing out.